يلا. واحد، اثنين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
أيها الإخوة والأخوات، سلام الله.
Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome all of you again, wherever you are. I welcome you again with this lecture of your program Fatwa Life. The first question about the debt. Do you have to pay it full? The person who holds the loan, he sold it to someone else. And that other, a lot of people, they settle. But there's some they refuse to settle. They wanted to get the full amount. Or do we have to pay it full, even if it is sold to someone else? The answer, my dear brother and sister, that the rights of people cannot be free without being fulfilled or being forgiven. The thing that Allah will never leave at all is the rights of people between them. It has to be settled, no doubt. And you cannot delay from the person who is rich to pay the debt. And the one who is capable and to delay it allows his punishment. And to force the person who learned on force them to settle for less, it's not allowed. It has, you cannot do to a Muslim or someone who is a civilian, you cannot do it full. Go and do your best within your ability before there's no dollar or dirham or dinar. It will be your deeds or sins. Someone, he had a child and he divorced his wife after 3 years and she died. And he had another child from another woman. He wants to make the second wife as his mother of his one who has some kind of problem. We tell him this is not allowed. Like you cannot claim the child to someone else besides his father. You cannot claim him for someone else besides the mother. And Allah had denied those who make their wives as their mothers. Allah said, these are not your mothers. Your mothers are the ones who gave birth to you. And they are seeing a very evil thing, and Allah is most forgiving. So Allah denied that. But someone who said that to his wife, that's out of anger. So how about you? And you're trying to change everything completely from the true mother who left to her to someone who did not have him, did not give birth to him. Allah said their mothers are the one who gave birth to them, and they're seeing something that is evil and false. And after Allah decided, there is no decision, and after Allah's rule, there is no rule. Allah said it's not up to a believer, male or female, after Allah decide on a matter, to have a choice in that matter. Whomever disobeyed Allah and His Messenger, he have went astray very clearly. So with this, that's enough that mother can take him, be kind to him, just be like his mother, but she is not his mother. There are so many things you can get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Why we need to claim him to be his mother when it's forbidden? There's plenty of what Allah has permitted to go that route. The third question: can two people who live in the United States to marry only Islamically without the court order, or at least it will be delayed a little bit? The answer to this, as far as the principle, there's nothing wrong. If that fulfill the parts of wali and witnesses, and there is nothing that restricts their marriage, and the institution will allow, which they don't, because they will put it in a legal binding, because the law do not allow you to marry someone in the masjid unless you bring a marriage license. And after that, after 72 hours, they're allowed to do, and sometimes you have to pay money to waive that waiting period. And that goes for churches, synagogues, and mosque. And we have said before, there is a problem, but we still say that it is very important to do the civil registering, because this is more stronger to preserve the rights of both. This is the Urfi marriage that Assembly of Muslim Jurist Association, they said in their 67, it says the marriage that is called Urfi, that is not settled in a courthouse, it's not part to make it valid, but you need to have it to preserve the rights and to settle dispute. Because if it is
اللهم اهدنا سواء السبيل وقنا عذابك يوم تبعث عبادك يا رب العالمين.
A question: can a Muslim can work through someone who is Shia as an employee for someone who is Shia madhab? If this came from someone who lives here, it is very strange, because the one who's asking, he works with the Jews, the Christians, the Sikh, and non-Muslims, and worshippers of devil. I don't care about the religion of those, but he's asking us whether working in this particular bar. I will tell you, there is nothing wrong of being working on something that is permissible, whether the employer is Muslim or non-Muslim, Sunni or not Sunni. This is a contract. It goes to the agreement, not on the alliance that is forbidden except to Islam. Unless the work itself has something to do with that. And the Muslim to live, to work for someone non-Muslim, that is something that is permissible with no humiliation, okay? And does not make him stop something something permissible, like to worship Allah Azza wa Jal, to be able to worship, to be able to observe your virtues of worship. There is a hadith, even though it's weak, but it's beautiful. It says, I came to the Prophet ﷺ, I saw him change. He said, with my father and mother, why are you see changed in your condition? He said, nothing came in my mouth over 3 days. 3 days, he did not eat nothing. So he said, I saw a Jew given some live cattle for him, or camels. So I told him, I will do that for a date for each one. And he went to the Prophet ﷺ. So he said, where did you get this? He said, I work for it.
الواجب بالصبر. عند رجل يهودي ليجمع كمية من التمر.
So he gets somebody to take it to the Prophet ﷺ.
وكان من أهل الصفة.
And he is among the poor people of Sufa, those who went to Bir Mauna and the slaughtering to the people of reciters. He don't have any money. He will work during the daytime to lift stuff. So he gets some work. He work with some food, not for himself, to feed the people of As-Safwa, the poor people. Really, that generation is the best generation on earth. Allah, he looked at the hearts after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He found his companions as the more pure, so he chose them to be his companions and the transformers of his religion, the deliverer of the message. And he hired himself to a Jewish so he could and I said, forget about the rules. Maybe the person is working, whether it is Jewish or Christian company. He just makes sure that it's permissible to work at that one, regardless to the religion of the person, the employer. And the Shia, with all their foreigners, they cannot be more disbelievers than the Jews and Christians, because those who believe in Allah and completely, it's better those who completely denied or disbelieved in Allah. Shaykh Islam he said, someone who preferred the Jews and Christians over belief. He said, every person who believes in what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is better than everyone who disbelieved in him. Even if he has innovation, whether he is the people of the Shia or others, the Jews and Christians are disbelievers. It's a known disbelief. And those who innovate, if they thought that he is following the Prophet, if he this is not a disbelief like those who deny the messengers of Allah.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
A woman is asking, my mother, she had an accident. I tried to visit her in the hospital. I couldn't. My husband worked in the hospital. So he claimed to people that this is his sister, not that his wife is his sister. So she could go and to see her mother. As far as the law and what it says, her question, when he said, this is my sister, is this considered mudar from, like he's claiming that there's none of that, because there's no intention. Is there sin for lying or no? This is what this question should be. In the Sunnah, the saying of Ibrahim to Sarah, at this time, if you know that you're my wife, he will force me on you. So if you ask me, then you're my sister. Because you're my sister in Islam. Because I don't know on earth a Muslim beside you.
So what time of weakness? He said,
Say to him that I'm your sister, you're my sister in Islam. So maybe his question is like that. Is that sahih? He did not lie, except 3. 2 in the sake of Allah, when he says, I am sick. Oh, that as this big one, Sarah was beautiful. She said, if he knew that you are my wife, he will force you. If he asks you, tell him you're my sister. You're my sister in Islam, and I don't know any Muslim besides you and me. Anyway, the condition of Muhammad, may Allah forgive his need, allowing you to visit your mother. So, with the forbidden, there is nothing, there is a sinful line. This is a separate issue. Are you forbidden on him because he said you're my sister? No, because there's no intention that intention to divorce you, to make you like his sister. Because Allah said, indeed, all matters depend on intention, and every person gets what he intended. Someone who embraced Islam 9 years ago wants to marry me. 2 years ago, he dealt with drugs. She is refusing everybody, but she wants this person. The Sunnah of Tirmidhi, of the saying of the Prophet, if someone came to engage someone who accepts his religion and his character, marry him. If you don't, there will be a fitna, a corruption on earth. So to decide on his character and his repentance depends on you. But if the woman is already want him and she's so attached to him, there's nothing for the lovers more than marriage. If they are good, that's a bounty from Allah. If not, she gets her share of the book. We deal with it what is appropriate for each. And no doubt, the worst the marriage who might have a problem with his repentance, it is better than to play with her chastity and to live with him without marriage. Because nowadays a woman can leave the house any minute. So the interest that she be married to him. Question: what is the rule if you go to the second room before fulfilling the first room, just because he is doubtful about he have corona or not? The Prophet told us, make out the first row and then fulfill the second one. Don't go to the second one before you forget the first one until the last. To preserve the soul is one of the major issues of the Sharia.
سؤال
A question:
رجل
a man
دخل بيته
who enters the house
غريبا في غرفته
and he found someone stranger in his
وعثر عليه
bedroom,
بعد اختفائه فقتله.
and he saw him after he disappeared and killed him.
في القبر الدية
What is the diya? What is the punishment for the wife?
لم يتبين لي معنى قولك وعثر عليه بعد اختفائه.
And he found him after he disappeared and he killed
هذه
him.
العبارة تبدو غامضة.
This is gonna,
إذ لو قتله
because if you kill him immediately,
لكان هذا من قبيل دفع الصائل عند بعض أهل العلم.
it will be among those who,
ضعيف القانون الفرنسي أن من فعل زوجته متلبسة
in the French law, if someone found his wife commit adultery and he killed him immediately, it's not a crime, it will be a misdemeanor. And he will get like months
تقدرون الحالة النفسية التي يكون فيها الشخص
because of the emotional
هذا القانون
issues.
لو أن هذا من قبيل دفع الصائل بيت حرم دخل حرم الفقر فهذا من قبيل دفع الصائل لو كان ذلك
So if it was like
لكان
that,
لدفع
to do the punishment, then and look at to find him after he disappeared. Like he didn't find him in the house, he found him 2 days after that and killed him. No one can say that it shouldn't be, because he needs to take it to the authority and to prove his crime. Otherwise, everyone who's disputed, all I have to do is just say, I saw him with my wife. So to preserve the protection of blood,
العدوان والضرب ويدفع رفض الحاكم وقع إن الذي عليه أكثر.
but the majority of scholars, whoever killed another person who found him with his wife,
مع أنه لا مؤاخذة عليه إن الذي عليه أكثر.
with the most scholars there, with whoever killed the man, he found him with his wife.
مع أنه لا مؤاخذة عليه فيما بينه وبين الله عز وجل إن كان المقتول محسن ونال من المرأة ما يمكنه وصفه. محرر في فتح الباب يقول
Nahaj says in his book
عليه القول
that he had to be a fine,
إن أقام بينة أنه ولده محمورات
and someone who could have a proof.
يسع فيما بينه
Shafi said that he came between
إن كان
killing that person,
وعلم منه أنه نال من المرأة
and he knows that he did,
ولكن لا يسقط عنه
but that does not.
طب ما الحديث
So what about the hadith? Whomever is killed within his honor is a shaheed, or for his religion is a martyr. The hadith says whomever is killed in any of these conditions is considered a martyr. That does not mean that if not proven that he was transgressed upon. Someone killed someone and he claimed that I saw him at house, but he need to prove that. Imam Ahmad said no, his blood will be shed and prove the. So the judge could rule onto this of what he thinks of the facts.
اللهم اهدنا سواء السبيل
آمين يا رب العالمين.
ولا تبكي يوم تبعث ولا تبكي رب العالمين. خير دينكم الورع.
The best of your religion is al-wara. Last woman, she said, I have participated in people who bring Quran. So I send the schedule. Sometimes those who work with us, they are very tough. They want to help us schedule. Sometimes I apply it as much as I can. I finished almost. Allah said, when I send with him to 1,000, 100,000 or more. So I hope you add this if you use almost. Someone is saying, receive letters, says Salah Al Sawy. Is there something wrong if I throw it in the trash? Because Al Sawy is one of Allah's return. This is something that's already commonly bad. If you can throw it or before you, or to shred it before you take the trash, it'll be better. Another question that's important: the tax return. If you are delayed in returning the money, and it was given more because of the delay, how can it be riba? There's no condition in the contract. The extra, I don't have a contract. I quit the contract that if I am late, that they give me more. It's a very important question. The answer, it was said like that because it was given from someone who is telling me that it's riba. That's the system. In writing and intentionally. It is already calculated the interest.
لو افترضنا جدلا أن قلت لك عنه لغة عطية أو قيلة بغير مشاركة وكان نبلا فرضة حسن قضاء ففي ديننا قول نبينا صلى الله عليه وسلم.
The Prophet ﷺ said, the best among you, the best in ruling. A man came to the Prophet ﷺ about a camel. He said, give him year over his year, and said the best among you is the one who fulfilled his duties. But here, Allah knows. I went with a merchant on something when he don't want to pay the profit and put in tricks. I asked him to leave. One of the brothers tried to came to a mechanism to get out. We entered to have the 3/4 of it. After a month he will get the money. And all of a sudden, after 2-3 months, it was said that to stop doing that. They asked him to increase it to 40 months. And the merchant stopped the prophet at this time. I hope it is clear. It's really on a very important issue. We tell him, dear brother, there is an agreement. There's an agreement on the amount. That money is taken to a loan, then there's no profit in this one.
والعامل في عقد المضاربة لا يضمن رأس المال بلا نزاع إلا بالتصريف والإدفاع. ففي اللحظة التي تحول فيها رأس المال
So the minute that the money became, so look, where are you from these rules? Because I don't know the details of your. A question, a beautiful one, that is very important to all of us, because it's about fasting the 6 days of Shawwal. For those who have days off to compensate, you could do it 6 days in Shawwal. Because can he do the wedding and then the ceremony and then the wedding? The scholars said you cannot use the compensate over the, because Allah said whoever fasted Ramadan and they followed by 6 days of Shawwal as if he fasted the whole year. And the word thumma, it shows the origins. This is the madhab of Shafi'i and Hanbali. The second one, and it is for the majority, you can postpone the 6 days over the things that are to compensate. And some said, oh, it's just like the Hanafi, they
بالصوم قبل قضاء رمضان لأن القضاء واجب موسع وليس واجبا مضيقا ويستطيع أن يوقعه على مدار العام وهذا رواية أيضا عن
Al-Malik and Shafi'i, they say it is allowed with dislike because
أن تبادر إلى قراءة النجم الفريضة أولا ثم تتجه إلى النافلة ثانيا. لعل القول بالجواز.
So those who said allowed or dislike or like, it is closer to the truth because the hadith is narrated in different forms. Because you say, and he followed him with 6. Ramadan and 6 of Shawwal, and that showed the ease. And some narrator they put it with the meaning. Because if he fasted Ramadan after that, then everything before it as measurement. The increase of the reward is sent with, if a good deed with 10 times. So he said the reward is settled. Allah says, so you could fulfill and to worship Allah. To say, whoever has 2 days, if it is 1 day, do not make Eid Takbir. Allah to fulfill the Idda and to he's still not, and he is not insistent on it. Anyway, I will increase something. Those who stop, they sin. Let's suppose someone who's in she was in the facade, she purified herself and she gave more for Shawwal. There is no more Shamma. They said because she and that's the idea whenever some people have someone, as an example, in a big journey, he could not fast. When he came back, except Shawwal is finished, he can make 6 days of Dhul Qa'dah. Someone's asking, my wife works as a pharmacist. Is working in these companies because it really follows an insurance company, and their role to give the acceptance to cover their finances online. This also, even though there's a problem with the insurance, but on the thing that has to do with medicine, it is from the great opportunities, because you lack it outside the insurance in specific. The insurance and the way that the insurance companies are presenting is incorrect, but because of the increase on most of the conditions to observe the soul without doubt. The last question we're gonna have to start with. I sent my clothes to the and I found out they are Christians. Do I consider these clothes pure since I don't know their purification when they iron the clothes? Oh, this is from the whispering of the shaitan. Maybe this is from the whispering of the shaitan that you need to overcome it.